Hey everybody, welcome to Way of Fishing. I'm gonna do a quick video. I was trying to do it on my S9 because the camera is so fantastic, but when you switch this thing into video mode, it like zooms in, and you have to back it up so far to get everything in frame. I'm not gonna use it, so we're gonna shoot this on my GoPro. So today's video, and it's gonna be handheld, so it's gonna be a little shaky, but today's video we're gonna do a review on this. This is my Moken FeelFree Moken 12.7. So we're not gonna do a review on it, but we're gonna do, I guess you call it like long-term review. I've had this kayak for a little over 2 years, and I've put it through some really rough stuff. And we'll go to a little clip real quick, just for you guys that are new, who may not have seen it, what I've put this kayak through. I'll never be in this creek arm again, ever. Almost back. At least my feet are wet. Look what I'm dragging through. Oh, I just cracked the back of my ankle. All right, so as you can see, that was pretty beast. I beat it up, I dinged it, I beat it, I dropped it, I flipped it. But let's just start with the top. Now, first of all, I keep both of my kayaks stay outside. So they're outside in the elements. I don't keep them in a garage. So real quick, the first thing on this boat that's gonna stand out to me that I noticed wear is the standing platform. Now, I really haven't stood on this boat very much. It's been very little. I've done some kneeling and of course moving around and shuffling on it, but really this year was the first year I spent any time standing up. And I don't know if that's gonna show up, but you can clearly see where I've been standing and the wear that it's been putting on the traction pad from where I've been standing. I wouldn't say that's significant, but I would say it's I don't know, it's fairly substantial. I don't know what's going on here. It's probably from this swinging around, rubbing into that. And that's just a zip tie. That's on my kayak, my paddle leash that I made. So moving on from that, the side pockets, the elasticity in the side pockets has kind of dropped off. They used to be a little bit tighter. So definitely this one, I'd probably use it a lot more. I've got a pair of pliers in there right now. But you can see it's really just a pocket. It's really just kind of open now. The seat straps, they stay just fine. I don't have any cracks in any scupper plugs. Coming up here, these rails, and this one actually has it, but these rails had little end caps on them, and they're rubber. I've got one left out of 4, so they're all gone. They've fallen off over time, knocked off, rubbed off, who knows what, but they're gone. The pull strap is fine. There's no dry rot there, nothing. Bolts haven't backed off, anything of that sort. The hatch has buckles. The buckles are fine. There's been a little wear, as you can see. Over time, that strap has started to wear and started to give out. This bungee has still got fairly good tension on it for holding the bottle underneath it. I don't really use it that often. The buckle here is fine. It does show some rust, so that's probably some cheap stainless. I do use it in salt water, so better quality stainless would be good. The seal's held up pretty good. It's really flat up here in the front. So a lot of compression right there at this point. But you can see where the ring is, it's actually sealing, it's seating pretty good. It's not completely waterproof. Most kayaks don't have completely 100% waterproof hatches, but I mean, it does the job. I wouldn't put anything in it that you don't want to get wet that's not in a bag. I wouldn't put anything in a kayak that you don't want to get wet that's not in some sort of bag or what have you. Close that up. Minimal modifications to this boat. Stainless eyelet there, stainless eyelet there, that's it. Moving to the back, the rear hatch, the seal is intact. That's fine. I haven't had any trouble with this hatch at all. Matter of fact, I haven't had any trouble with any of the hatches on the boat. None of the boat hatches have been in any trouble. The rod holders haven't been in any trouble. Again, if you look here, there's the rubber piece. I've got one there, don't have one here. I've got one here, and I don't have one here. The biggest failing on this boat so far has been the bungees on the rear, and you can buy new ones. And again, this has been 2 years, but you can see the discoloration. If you look really closely in there, see that dark orange? That's what color they were. This is what the sun has done to them, and I'm actually missing one. It broke, so it snapped off like that way. It broke, and so my bungee strap is pretty much loose here. I'm gonna have to deal with that. This strap is dry rotted. You can see every time I pick the boat up here, it starts to, you can hear it popping and cracking and giving out, but that's gonna have to be replaced. It's pretty much toast. It's not really showing up that well on the GoPro, but it's toast pretty much. This I damaged, and that's in the other video, but yeah, I hit that really hard while the kayak was loaded. This is my second scupper plug. I cannot tell you how many times this scupper plug fell out of this boat. I'd unscrew it to drain the water, flip the boat, and then I'd see it on the ground. It just kept getting pulled out, popped out. I had to actually get a new one. So I ordered that off Amazon, but that's not the original. That's the original housing, but the actual screw plug, that's not original. Side of the boat looks fine. No problem with the molded in handles. You can see a lot of gouging here. And we're gonna get to that in a minute when we flip the boat over. But you saw, I do a lot of smallmouth fishing in rocky water and a lot of dragging through the woods. So how'd the boat hold up underneath? We're gonna see in just a second. Last thing on top would be this, which is the front hatch. Again, a lot of sun fading, UV fading on this, and this is wet right now, but this is kind of ashy looking too. But it's still holding up. It's not broken. Still got a positive lock on the hatch. Water in it, I just sprayed it out, so I got to finish draining it. But latches are holding up just fine. The seal on that is fine. So I'm gonna take a second real quick, get the boat flipped over, and then we're gonna talk about the bottom. The bottom is really where I need a kayak to hold up, because I am worried about sinking it. Where I'm fishing is a lot of granite and quartz, like hard rock that's jagged, a lot of gravel and sand. So let's see how the bottom is held up over 2 years of fishing in the James River for smallmouth. Okay, so my neighbor's out here and the kids are eating candy and they're playing, so there might be a lot of background conversation, but I got the boat flipped over. So we're gonna start with the back. Now, in the footage I showed you about how I beat the boat up, I really crushed the back of the boat. So let's just take a look at what we got here. The rudder took some damage here. That's no doubt where it got bent. Right there in the base of that rudder, it got crushed. There's a gouge. But look here at the back of the boat. I mean, that's a serious gouge out of the back of the boat right there. That's pretty significant. There's another one, and then here's another one, okay? This side is not so much, so definitely when I damaged the rudder, it was over here. But you can see there are no cracks from that impact. The rudder bent, the aluminum bent, but there's no crack in the actual boat. Up here where this is patented for this brand, wheel and the keel, got a lot of scratching up here. Feeling it though, none of them are significant. They're not really bad. And this part right here, no doubt, is taking a lot of beating going across those rocks out there in the river. And there's one cut right here. It's not very deep though. Like, none of these are that deep. That one feels kind of significant, but not anywhere near as deep as what's back here. And this is taking the brunt of the abuse when I use this boat. You can see this long one right here. Couple cuts. It'll buff out, it'll buff out, that'll buff out. Here's something right here. Went, kind of gouged, peeled it up some. But still, that's not through the boat. Not something that I'm gonna worry about leaking. Here's another one right there. See, I can pull the plastic up off of that. But feeling it back here is where I expected most of the damage to be, and it's not that bad. Not that bad at all. Then you move up here. This is about where I'm going to be sitting, so this is where my weight is. This is probably from sitting in the back of the truck. See how it's right across right there? And that spot, it's a high spot right here in the center line of the boat. So that's probably sitting in the back of the truck when I transport it. Feeling it, because I can't see everything, but not at all, man. Not at all what you'd expect to find under this boat from the abuse that I put it through. Nothing at all. Yeah, it looks like most of it's back there in the back where I drug it through those rocks. Let's come up here and check the keel. See what kind of damage we got up here. Oh, same type scratches. Nothing more significant than I found in the back. So right here in the keel where it's taken, you know, beaching and everything, it's not that bad. It's not that bad at all. So and I'm pretty torturous on this. I'm not one of those guys that has a kayak trailer and brings it in the house and puts it in the garage on the stand and babies it, and you know, that's not me. When I bought this boat, it was to go places the other boats can't go. A lot of people don't have access to a lot of boats like I do. I've got 2 John boats. I can get on bass boats. I've got other kayaks, float tubes. I mean, it's not my only vessel. And I got it because I could abuse it, because I could get through things and do things I couldn't do in an aluminum boat. And so looking at it, I mean, I spent $1,000 on a boat for 2 years. So if you break it down, cost per year is $500. I'm going to get another year out of it. So then you divide it by 3. I would assume, looking at the amount of wear that it's taken in 2 years as I've learned to be a better kayak angler, it's going to last me a while. I don't expect the hull to be what actually fails on this boat. If you want to buy customer service, then you want to go to Bonafide. It's going to be straight up. Luther and his whole group at Bonafide and Yak Attack. If customer service matters, that's where you want to go. Sorry, that's just where you want to go. But am I satisfied or impressed with how this boat has held up for 2 years? Absolutely. Would I recommend buying one? Absolutely. I wanted to have the lure over here so we could go through the lure also. If you guys want to see a review on a FeelFree lure, let me know, and we'll pull the lure out and we'll do that too. But overall, for the cost of what this boat is compared to what other kayaks are and what I put it through in 2 years, absolutely, it's worth it. But I'm going to get a bunch more years out of this boat. It's all right. Fishing kids trying to get Kenai to be quiet. That's not going to happen. Come here, Kenai. Come here. Do you want to say something to the camera on purpose?
No.
You say hi? No? Fishing kids always dancing back there. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Again, thanks for subscribing. And if you want to see something else review related, let me know. Bye.